I support TextPop because the primary goal, the ultimate goal in all child welfare cases is positive permanency for the child. And positive permanency can be achieved at a much greater rate when there's collaboration between the foster parents and the bio family.
One of the things I love about TextPop is that we really have thought about every different part of the child welfare system and all of the important players. We really think it's vital for all of the important players in child welfare to work together. And one of the most important parts of the child welfare system is the judicial part of child welfare.
I think it's important for judges to know about TextPop. It's important for them to know when a family is involved with TextPop, because when a family is involved with TextPop, what that means is they're probably going to see more people in that courtroom. They're going to see more families showing up, they're going to see the caregivers show up, they're going to see people from the child placing agency show up. And for them to also know that our ultimate goal is for that child to have as many connections with their biological family and their natural supports that they had before they came into care.
Family engagement means collaborating with family members and allowing them to be active participants in the problem-solving process. This is achieved by allowing the family members' voices to be heard and acknowledging their concerns.
You're not going to get reunification, which is the priority, without engaging mom and dad right away. You're not going to get that without having your caregivers, whether they be family or foster, involved in the daily activities with the parents, meaning medical, dental, school, daycare.
Depending upon when that child arrives in foster care, that child has lived a whole life with their biological family. And mom and dad knows all the little ins and outs of that child. It would be so helpful to have that communication, and that's why I think TextPop is so important. What you don't want to have between birth parents and foster parents is any kind of jealousy or fear or animosity. What you want is everybody working toward what is in the best interest of that child. And so if they're working together and they have a good relationship, they're just building each other up.
Birth parents can receive additional support and perhaps mentorship from foster parents. And birth parents know their children better than anyone else, and it's important that foster parents have access to that information.
It's got to be so scary. Your children are taken away. You walk into court, there's somebody in a black robe, everybody is very formal, and what all you can imagine is that nobody's standing up for you. Parents need to feel comfortable when they come to court and not be scared. Because if you think that no matter what I do, my children are going to be taken from me, then you're probably less likely to make the effort to do something.
It is very important for families to understand the court process and to know what the court expects of them, because if they don't know, then how can they meet that expectation? Positive permanency is what we are trying to achieve, and we don't want to achieve it at a snail's pace. So if the family knows what the court expects and how the process works and how the case flow works, then we can move through a lot quicker.
It's nearly impossible to have a successful child welfare outcome, whether that's reunification or something else, if parents are not active participants in the case.
One of the things we can do to encourage more communication and involvement in court cases is to make sure that judges know what TextPop is, to make sure that they know what our goals are for the children and families. And I think once they have that information, what we have seen is that judges really do embrace this model, and they really appreciate that it's a model that brings everyone who's caring about the child together.
Birth parents need to feel like the system is working to reunite their families, not that the system is adversary to them and trying to take their children. And that's what I think is so important, because I think many people come into this feeling like that at the end of the day, no matter what they do, their children are going to be taken away. And so I think they need to feel that the system is supporting them so that they can get their kids back.
The families know their needs, but they also know their strengths. And a lot of times when they come into the system, we overlook the good. And there's a lot of good in these families. By allowing the families to actually have voices in the cases, it assists all parties involved. All of the ad litems, the judges, the caseworkers, everyone.
Right now, child placing agency staff don't really attend court, and they have such a huge amount of information about this family, right? They know these caregivers the best, for sure. They also really build relationships with these children. So having the CPA workers at court, hearing their perspective, I would love for the judges to start really kind of expecting that, right? So that they can not just get information from one party, but really get information from all of the people who are working in and around these families.
TextPop will benefit the work of child welfare judges because better coordination and collaboration outside the courtroom, I believe, will improve outcomes inside the courtroom.
I think we need to focus a lot more on the relative and fictive placements and getting them ready for permanency.
The fact that TextPop has biological parents and foster parents working together, giving that extra layer of support to biological parents as they seek to be reunited with their children, I think is just so important.